everybody, We-MNF. We are back having fun. I hope you're having fun too. And today it is all about Chico. Chico, you begin. What you bring us?
Hi everyone. Today I'm bringing the song Cockroach King, um, a song by the English progressive metal band Haken, according to the Wikipedia.
Yeah, yeah. So
And
that's a band I don't listen quite often. I listen to them sometimes.
yeah, this song was released in 2013. Um, and this song is I like in a very special manner because the song uh, pay homage to Gentle Giant. It's it's
Okay.
a, it's a
Okay.
good one. I have to say.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
I don't know really well the band for for uh, for sure, but I think I have listened the sixth album of them called Virus quite often. But I never studied about the band really. I just heard this song and I really like it more than any other song in the virus. This song is in an album called The Mountain.
So okay, so that's not from Virus. Yeah, I listened to this song before, Cockroach King, yeah. That's the
Yes.
song, yeah. Yeah, I listened to it. But I listened once and I don't
What
even
is
remember.
funny, they
Yeah.
they call it the song the gentle the giant with a D in the beginning instead the G
Digent. Okay.
the gentle giant. I don't know why,
Okay.
but it is
I don't know.
it's a prank between them when they have heard the song. The song is very nice and like Gentle Giant, the song mix as modern sounds, modern structures too, with tradition structures of music. So
Okay, okay.
it's
Yeah, like
very
gent
interesting.
so we should be prepared to some Baroque, some Renaissance music. I don't remember the song. Yeah, really, I listened once. I remember. I don't remember the song, and that's a pity because I love Gentle Giant. And as I said when we just played two tracks from Acquiring the Taste. Soon we'll be releasing that. Uh, and one thing that's happening with Gentle Giant in the last like 20, 25 years is that got a cult following. Yeah. So it was a band that was not incredibly successful, but really got a parcel of attention in the 70s, but was never on the top rank in terms of selling records like he has or Genesis or others. But now it's many people have a reverence to the band, and many new artists that were going back to prog or doing prog metal. They refer to Gentle Giant as an influence. So came across history as one of these bands that is much more influential in generating new music for the next generations than what we could expect from the number of albums the band sold while it was active. And by the way, we know the Gentle Giant fan base, in which I'm included, is rather organized. So we have a mailing list where we discuss music, and also Gentle Giant is called their own reflection list. And we have an official website by Gentle Giant that's not made by the band, it's made by fans. Dan Barrett is the guy who runs the website, but the website has all the support of the band. And we have an annual gathering of Gentle Giant fans called Gorg, and people join. to play together. Many of the fans of Gentle Giants are musicians, so we are talking about a gathering that's about enjoying with friends, but also incredible music will be played there because many of the fans are musicians, and members of the band will occasionally appear in the annual gatherings, particularly Gary Green and John Weathers, the drummer and the guitar player. They would come, and also the keyboard player, Kerry Miner. They are quite often they would be going to Gorgs. Not the Schumann brothers. Yeah, Phil Schumann left the band in the beginning of the 70s, came back to his teaching history job. So he's out of music for a while, even though he's in touch with the fans and with the band, but he's for a long time was not a member of Gentle Giant. Ray Schumann died. It's the only one from the band who died, the bass player. And the singer, Derek Schumann, he has an incredible story because Gentle Giant ends in the 80s. Along the 80s, I don't know in which year exactly, he started to work in Columbia Records, and he was so successful in his career as a music businessman, that he grew up in Columbia to very important positions in the recording company, and then he made his own record company, DRT. And so this company is running up to these days, and Derek Schumann is just about to release an autobiography. So people who want to know more, soon there will be a book by Derek Schumann calling about all his career. But it's funny because he came into a very successful career as a businessman in music. And Ray Schumann, before dying, had a very incredible career as a sound engineer. So, for instance, there are curiosities like Sugar Cubes, the band that reviewed Bjork, was initially produced by Ray Schumann. So the band continued to have a lot of things to do with the business in music, and Kerry Miner remained as the main guardian of the Gentle Giant archives. Uh, but of them, though, the one who followed a more professional career after was John Weathers, was the drummer for Man, which was more like a bluesy band for several years, up to when he got quite old and was hard for him to play the drums, so he retired. But he continued playing drums in different bands from the 80s, 90s, 2000s. I think he retired some year in the 2010s. But let's go for Haken, yeah? We're talking about a lot
Yes.
about Gentle Giant. Oh yeah, my fault. A Gentle Giant fan, you can leave space for this kind of people.
Hey, the song it referred directly to Gentle Giant, so it's not
It's
out
not,
of the topic.
yeah, just a bit. So let's put here Cockroach King from Haken. Let me put us back here. We always have to do all these things to make the thing work. So, okay, so buckle up. I'm very curious to hear because I heard, as I said, only once. Let's go.
Tantalized by the cockroach and its promise, I fantasized about soaring with golden wings. Hypnotized by the cockroach and its promise, I was compromised by a treasure that was fit for fools. The hunter draws closer to its prey. Vacantly, I was gazing at the mirage. I yearned to be an apostle of the self-made man. Hopelessly,
Yeah, Gentle Giant, yeah, the influence is quite. And it's clear it's a tribute because it is composed in a way that is on purpose reminding us of the giant. Yeah, it's a great, great song. When I started listening, I remembered the song. Yeah, but it is quite peculiar, and I really like it. And they were successful in making something that sounds really contemporary.
The
How the
vocals is
instruments.
incredible, similar, and but I have to say, Ross Jennings is a crazy vocalist. I think maybe better than the gentle
By Derek Schumann. Well, I cannot agree, but I
direction.
like his vocals.
It's not like he artist as a whole, uh,
Uh,
but strictly as a vocalist, he's
mm,
incredible.
yeah,
This
I
guy.
think it's more common. I think it's more
Um,
common.
I don't think so. We
In the
agree to
prog
disagree.
metal, we find prog metal, we find several vocalists that sounds very well. Like, well, he's a great vocalist, but we find several like him in prog
But
metal. While if you look at the prog in the 70s, you don't find many vocalists like Derek Schumann.
um, I don't know.
It's
I don't
it's
know.
more it's more original, I think.
It's difficult to be original nowadays, but even that, uh, Ross Jennings has a peculiar sound in his voice. It's not.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
I
I don't
don't. I
disagree.
don't agree. He is not so
It's
common.
it's peculiar like here. The average is here, he's around here. Derek Schumann, the average here, he's around here. But the
Okay.
to be original is an impossibility. Yeah, you're always combining influences and creating. What's
Uh,
original is how the several elements combine with each other.
to
Uh,
anyone in any era
oh yeah,
is
yeah,
difficult.
I
It's
agree. I
difficult
agree.
to do.
In any area, in any era, it's always
Mm.
like that. And but what's nice is that all of them sing quite well, and what they are evoking is the kind of counterpunctal melodies and harmonies that Gentle Giant was quite usually doing in several of the tracks, like On Reflection, like Knots, where all the members of the band they sing and they sing in counterpoint to each other. So that's quite common. This comes from medieval and Renaissance music.
Yes, in this last part, we can listen the difference in structure
Oh
of the
yeah, yeah,
music.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
This
yeah.
is more metal in,
It's more prog metal, yeah, yeah. And the way the guitar solo is made is completely contemporary.
yes.
And yeah, and they have the parts that reminds us of Gentle Giant more, and parts that sound exactly like a prog metal band would be expected to sound. Yeah,
You spent a little time before in this video talking about the drama of the Gentle Giant. I
yeah,
think
yeah.
now we can say that was
An
was
opportunity.
the opposite. I think it
The
was
opposite.
to you do that because we can compare to the drummer of the Haken is very different. Is is too more simple. Yeah,
Yeah, it's much more simple. Yeah, I
even the
agree. I
first
agree.
part, is not like crazy in Gentle Giant.
Yeah, yeah. I think they are not trying to evoke this complex rhythm structure. They're trying to evoke more the counterpoints in the
Yes,
melody. That's what they're bringing. And the medieval feeling is there too. It's quite common in Gentle Giant.
the vocals, the layers of the vocals in the
Yeah,
beginning.
yeah. And also
Uh,
how the keyboard player approach is different, but that's good, yeah, because it is Haken, it's not Gentle Giant. So
yes, yes.
yeah. It comes back to something we discussed before in the channel. So it is original. It is Haken. It's not
Yeah,
Gentle
but
Giant.
this
See,
okay, but this song specifically
yeah, yeah, yeah,
is trying to make a homage to
yeah,
Gentle Giant.
yeah,
This is
yeah.
directly said that
Yeah.
about it.
But
So
but we talked
we
about
can
this when
compare. We can compare.
we talked about this when we played Druid. And we discussed that Druid was one of these bands from the 70s that sounded like Yes, but was not a copy of Yes, was original. And other
Yeah,
bands from the 70s was exact copies of Yes. Or you have a Brazilian band, incredible musicians, but they sound a copy of Gentle Giant. It's called the Reno Baldio. And that's incredible because this is not exactly the easiest bands you can find out there to copy. It's hard, but then we lack the band has an original sound. But here we have Haken. It is their sound, and they're just making an homage to Gentle Giant. Let's go back to the music and finish it. Then we come back to our comments. Let me go back a bit so that you get the feeling, and let's go.
Nearby, a treasure that was fit for fools, searching for the truth. Lost in this labyrinth in search of the truth. With your promises of the city. Trapped in your kingdom built on greed and guile. Built on greed and guile. Only to find the insects have multiplied. The Cockroach King of gold and green. With a broken crown, he's left to lead an empire falling to its knees. A bleeding ground for those who I long to be a disciple of the cockroach. I was hopelessly choking on the roach of fallacy. Thankfully, when the mirage finally melted, the impurity of the cockroach was revealed to me.
Very good.
yeah. The humor is a reference to, I
Yeah, he's
think.
present. Yeah, yeah. True, true. As you said before, Gentle Giant was had this peculiarity among the prog bands of the 70s, was full of humor, and the humor is there, and the puppets are amazing. Great video of the puppets.
Yes.
I never saw
Uh,
the video. The video is the first time. And when I listened to this song once that I listened was from the album.
the the vocalist, the Ross James, said that the lyrics, it was not written by Josh Rain, James. Was the, I can't remember the name.
But it's
Richard
another member of the
Henshaw.
band.
Richard Henshaw. He wrote alone this song. Just the but the vocalist said that the lyrics remit some political statements.
Make some political statements. Okay, nice, nice, nice. Yeah, I never paid attention to the lyrics of this song,
Bom,
but definitely
Cockroach Kings, uh, uh, just that I think made we think about political critic.
issues. Yeah, yeah, that's true. And it's a great song. Also in the instrumentation, there are passages that reminds us of Gentle Giant, not only the vocals. So they also do some more experimental passage that reminds what Gentle Giant would do in their composition. So all in all, I think that's truly a great homage to the band. I would be curious to see if any Gentle Giant member ever talk anything about this composition. I'll take a look later. And there is something that it was like 1 year ago or something. One hip hop artist made a composition where it sampled Proclamation from Gentle Giant. And this created quite a fuzz among the fan base of Gentle Giant who really like it, what the hip hop artist did with the sample from Proclamation. And I remember that at that point, I don't remember if it was Gary Green or if it was Carrie Miner that said that they like it.
I never heard
Yeah, yeah.
about
It's
this version. It's
yeah,
not a
it's
version. It's this
yeah.
reference.
It's quite interesting that for them that they remain alive in influencing new generations of musicians and many of the prog metal and contemporary prog artists will mention Gentle Giant as an influence and will pay homage to it. People like Steven Wilson, for instance, who always cites Gentle Giant as a major influence in one of the major bands in the 70s. And Steven Wilson have been remastering a lot of Gentle Giant albums lately. He has been working on
Inclusive
that.
the one that I like more, the
Octopus, yeah,
Yeah.
Octopus, yeah. Yeah, he made that, and I like how it sounds. It sounds different from the original, but that's the point. Yeah, he's doing something to sound differently. And this can be awful, particularly when you are a fan of a band and you don't sometimes you don't want to listen to them differently, but it's quite good. I like it. I
I
like it.
I I I like I already heard remix
Yeah, it's not remaster, it's remixing.
remix
Remaster is
and
another thing. I said something
uh,
wrong. Yeah.
to, I don't know, it's remix. I don't
Yeah, I
know.
think so. I think
and
so. Keep talking that
and
I'm trying to do some research here. I think it's remixing.
Rush, yes. I heard some um,
It is remixing. He has been remixing, so he
remixing,
gets the original and he makes the all the mix again.
and in my opinion, it's all the works that I listened to from the Stevie Wilson works, um, I think rocks in remixing
Yeah,
another
yeah,
bands.
yeah.
So I think it's to me always was an
Oh
improvement.
yeah, it's quite good. He makes the things sound more contemporary,
I think
and
was not.
he's really good at that.
I think you are not lost the essential of the
Yeah,
so-
yeah, yeah. I agree entirely.
the characteristics of the uh, because it was even though even is always he works in on great albums of the
Yeah, yeah. Oh, you see
so
that
it's
Steven
difficult
Wilson.
to uh,
You see
so
that Steven Wilson is doing a good work in the remixing because he's remixing Yes, he's remixing King Crimson, he's remixing Gentle Giant with all the
Genesis
support
I
from the
think
band. And think about
Genesis
a
I
guy
think
like, yeah, now Genesis I don't remember, but think about remixing King Crimson. Robert
yes.
Fripp. Robert Fripp is crazily perfectionist and demanding, and he allowed
A freak
Steven Wilson, yeah,
control freak
a control freak.
about the work.
Even though the albums, like in the Court of the Crimson King, was remixed by Steven Wilson collaborating with Robert Fripp. Robert Fripp was there doing the remixing too. I doubt that Robert Fripp would simply say, "You remix my work." But he is confident on Steven Wilson's capacities. Gentle Giant, Steven Wilson remixed it alone. I think Yes, there was nobody from Yes there too. So the simple fact, he also remixed Red from King Crimson with Robert Fripp. So the guy knows what he's doing. Otherwise, these musicians wouldn't allow him to touch his music and make a new mix.
Um, I think he worked with Genesis too, and had a project with Steve Hackett and Stevie Wilson, and remix albums from Genesis too. It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
This guy,
Yeah.
the man,
Yeah,
the man is the man.
he also remixed Roxy Music, Jethro Tull, Tears for Fears.
Tears for Fears, the guys of the Tears for Fears is genius in producing albums. How could someone else
Yeah,
make better? It's crazy. It's crazy. The
it's
guy is a
amazing.
genius.
Yeah.
And
So
nowadays they work with in a studio that there's too many layers of the channels. Uh, so the monitors in in his studio came from the ceiling, from the walls, from the back of walls. It's a immersive experience in surround sound.
yeah,
It's crazy. Yeah,
yeah.
the last album uh, uh, he of his album he produced in that way. I don't know. I think he can put this experience in the other in these classic albums because it was not record in that way.
Yeah, yeah.
So
He can do magic. So he's still
it's
working
yeah,
with the master tapes from the 70s, and the master tapes will bring the limitations of a studio from the 70s. But he does an admirable work, even though I continue to listen to the original mixes because they really feel different. But I like both. And as you said, he's incredibly respectful for the original mixing. He's not inventing a lot of things. He's
no, I
trying to
think it's
enhance what was done.
to me it's more clear, it's
Yeah.
more vivid sounds. I always I heard an improvement.
Yeah, because
The 2012 from Russia is very, very
yeah,
good. What he did, because the original is, it was one of the first albums of the Rush, so it's not too good. It's good, crazily good, but could
the recording has
when you
limitations.
heard you can feel that this could
Uh,
be better, and then he did that. It's crazy.
yeah, you don't get what Rush should make with their sounds later on when they had more resources. But I think what happens that Steven Wilson remix works because he's a fan of the bands, so he tries to improve what he likes, and then he does an incredible work in doing that. But we should go back to Haken. So that's a very good band. In fact, I think of the prog metal bands is one of the ones I like more, alongside with Porcupine Tree, which by the way is the band by Steven Wilson, which we never played. We should play some Porcupine Tree and other bands like we played, like Lepros. Lepros is a nice prog rock
Lepros,
band, prog metal band. And in fact, I like the prog metal. I think they sound nice, even though they sound much more alike each other than the prog bands. Even the contemporary prog bands, which are not prog metal, they have a more varied sound, while the prog metal tend to sound more or less similar. Even though I like it, and I always think it's so fun because when I was a teenager studying in Rio de Janeiro, the metal people were one group of people. The prog people were another group of people. We didn't mix with each other quite well. And I remember that one of my best friends was a prog, a metal fan, and I was a prog fan. And I remember one day I went to his house to listen to music, and I tried to play. I think it was Gentle Giant or something like this, but I couldn't hear the cymbals. And I said, well, what's going on here? So to listen to metal was so in the bass sounds that you couldn't listen the cymbals. You listen only. That was quite fun. So why listen to music like this? You are listening only one part of the sound spectrum because the thing was to reverberate like hell along the house. So I had to look at the amplifier and try to do another kind of sound balance so that I could listen to the cymbals or to all the instrumentation and not only the bass and the drum and the drum, how it is called in English.
left
Portuguese
hand,
is no, the boom boom, how it is in English.
kick.
Yeah, yeah, okay. I only listen he was listening to things like death metal, thrash
Yeah,
metal.
sometimes is this occur because the production, the way the
No, but,
song
but
is
in this
produced.
case, it was his control of his sound equipment that was making this thing becomes even more like a bass
It's
thing. Boom,
it's
boom.
like it's intentional.
It's intentional.
But
But
we discussed just before this term progressive metal, prog metal. I don't like so much. I don't know if fit really well to these new bands. For example, the Porcupine Tree is
yeah,
so rich. There is so many elements in there. I think personally I
yeah.
couldn't call it that.
Yeah,
And the virus, the sixth album of
okay.
Haken, and there is so many elements from jazz,
Mhm.
really
Yeah, yeah,
specials that the music turned to jazz, really jazz, not jazz like some bands in the 70s put some flavor of jazz in the song. No, the song there is a part in the song that's turned into a set of a jazz music or fusion music, but very
More fusion, yeah.
very clear, you know. As I think I
Yeah,
don't
I think
call a band that if metal band this category we have to invent a new name to this
yeah,
band because
categorizing is helpful and we helps us organize our thinking, but it is always prone to failure. And I think they are called prog metal because particularly the way the drums and the guitar sounds is reminiscent of
no,
the typical
there is
sounds.
element these two characteristics is in there is a fact is not I'm not discussing this I'm not
Yeah.
negating this uh, negating
Yeah, I think one way
but
if you
I think
don't
there is
if
much more elements
it's
it's
richer,
beyond
yeah.
that. Yeah.
I think if you want to escape categorization, we can think about the historical lineages. That's what we do in biology, by the way. We found the categories in the biological domain by looking at the history. So if you share a common ancestor, then you stay in the same group. If you can explain the shared characteristics based on a common ancestor and not in the characteristics per se, because two animals, for instance, can share a characteristic that comes independently through evolution, not through a common ancestor. So obviously, if you try to do this with human culture evolution, it's much more complicated because in the living world you have what we call lateral transfer of information that genes for instance escape from one species go to another and then what was like a tree becomes more a network because genes are being exchanged but in human culture evolution is such a
What's
huge
this?
network
What the name of this cladistic?
as
Is
phylogenetics
is
systematics cladistic is one subfield within phylogenetic systematics. So it's, then the difference is methodological. But then today we know we have this lateral transfer. But in human culture evolution, the lateral transfer is immense. So it's very hard to individuate historical lineages. But sometimes can be helpful. So I remember it was last year we were in Wageningen in the Netherlands, to where I'm going quite soon to stay there for 6 months. And I was with Thomas Rickard and Francisco Vergara, two friends who works in the same field. And Francisco Paco, as we call him, told that Jethro Tull was progressive. And then we started a huge discussion on about this. And then suddenly I appealed to the historical lineage explanation. And then we came to an agreement that a Jethro Tull doesn't belong in the prog rock because it comes from a different ancestor. Even though in the 70s, a lot of lateral transfer from prog rock to Jethro Tull, and Jethro Tull got a lot of elements from prog rock. But Jethro Tull, but then all this is quite complicated because Jethro Tull is coming more directly from the British folk and blues. That's where they belong in the original lineage. But prog rock is also coming from there in a sense because prog rock has this influence from British folk too. So it becomes quite difficult. So in human culture evolution, individuating historical lineage is quite complicated because of people are influencing each other in a broader way than species can influence each other through gene exchanges or other kind of exchanges. It's not only genes, one species can be influenced by the other ecologically and in other ways. But in human culture evolution is crazy.
in the case of the artists from the culture to the
Yeah, yeah.
environment. I think it is
Oh, for the
very
general
important.
culture, the zeitgeist, yeah. It's very complicated. And prog metal, it is like a crossover, yeah. By definition, the name is trying to express that. And then if you talk about Haken doing something that sounds like fusion, then I would check with the Haken members if this is influenced by the Canterbury style of prog rock, who made this connection fusion back in the 70s, or like Bruford do that. So Bruford was a fusion band, but with a lot of influence from progressive rock, and with three musicians who were coming directly from prog rock: Alan Holdsworth, Bill Bruford, and Dave Stewart. Jeff Barley, I don't have an idea where he came from, so I don't know.
The band is American, North American.
Bruford?
No,
No, Haken.
Haken,
Yeah,
and
Haken.
this music schools in USA, uh, they approach many styles and
Yeah.
of the contemporary music.
Could come from there independently from any
There is
previous.
an interchange of cultural interchange between the students, the professors. So they listen all of this, of course. And if you are in a music school in USA, you obviously, if you are a
Yeah.
guitar player, you listen Alan. You if you're a drummer, you listen Bruce Bruford. In the prog, in the jazz, in the
Yeah,
fusion,
yeah, yeah.
and
And
you
you
listen, you
listen to
listen.
Miles Davis, you listen
We
to
listen. So
John Coltrane. Yeah, yeah. Ah, we listen
uh,
for all of these since
uh,
teenager years. Okay,
um,
I just make a comment that I didn't like death metal and thrash metal when I was a teenager. Later on, I wouldn't say I like them, but I think it's curious. From time to time I listen to some death metal, thrash metal, which are things that was unbearable for me when I was a teenager. But we grow up. As you grow up, you mature and you diversify your taste, which is a good thing.
yes, if he is a good music,
Yeah,
music.
not you, because you were always a little mixed up. You like pop music since you were a teenager. For me, I was very radical. If you can dance, then you don't listen. That was something like I would say when I was like 13, 14, 14 years of age. Yeah. I was listening to very strange music and not very danceable. And I was not very interested in things that could be danced. But well, I grew up and I matured. Now I love Michael Jackson, which I didn't like back at the time. So it's open our ears for incredible things that are
uh,
out there that we were not valuing.
Michael was difficult to me too in the early 80s. I, I I
It
really
was
don't
too,
get.
yeah,
I think the Van Halen, the Beat in Thriller, uh, the
yeah.
solo of the Ed Van Halen in
But
Beat,
now you love Michael Jackson, yeah,
and I was wow, what the fuck.
yeah, yeah.
And I start listen and I start listen the early Michael Jackson in the 70s when he was a
Oh, it's
child
amazing.
and
Off the wall,
off the wall.
amazing, amazing
So
album.
when you start listen without prejudice, just listen, worry about music, you cannot like it. It's
And
very
obviously, Michael Jackson was difficult to us because we were completely countercultural guys in the high school. So we didn't want to mix with the dominant mob. We like to be different, and everybody was liking Michael Jackson. So let's dislike Michael Jackson because then we
early
keep our
eights.
our
We
identity.
have the post punk in England. So I particularly heard a lot of the Cure, Six and the Bench, the
Yeah,
Jam, and Police, the first albums of the Police. Many bands of that just even Sex Pistols. I like the
yeah.
Clash and I like too much the song. Just I
Start.
don't
Yeah,
have. We have space to listen in Salvador. We live in Salvador at the time. You continue living in Salvador, and we have some dance clubs. You it that just play these new songs from England.
Yeah, these new songs.
Is it's curious that happened in Salvador in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
early
yeah.
'80s, but really happened. And I I was
Frequented.
uh, frequented this space with some friends, not you, named Alexandre and Bruno,
Yeah,
but
you're not going.
another friends from the school, and yeah, I learned to like it. You remember Lan,
So
the
sure,
teenager?
sure. Yeah, 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 sure.
She like a lot to this kind of sound, and we
Yeah, yeah.
heard together this
Good,
of
good.
music.
I was going
So it's
to
different.
the jazz places with Bruno at the same
Yes,
time.
and at the same time, Bruno called me, and, hey man, want to spend the day together. I was living near his house. I we have rehearsals in his house,
Yeah, yeah,
and
true.
at some point, and after that, Bruno plays saxophone, and after that, we you guys go out, and I spend the afternoon with him, listen Charlie Parker.
Good.
But I don't get it. I I
At
was
that point, yeah.
spend some time with my friend, but don't get it. I just was there, listen, but I couldn't
Yeah,
really
yeah.
understand the music.
Yeah, I would
It
love
was not my
jazz and
vibe. It was not my vibe. But I start listen and learn out something about jazz because Bruno.
In
Really.
fact, back then, particularly in the end of the 80s, then we were, I think, already living in Recife. There was a very nice jazz scene in Salvador, and I would be always there with Bruno, Ivan Wall, and other friends, and was thriving. But then came the Asha music, and many of these great musicians from the jazz band went to play Asha
Yes,
because it was money. Yeah, people need money to live. But it was a
my
great scene.
my
It was very
teacher,
good.
my bass teacher was a guy from Chile,
Yeah,
Keiko.
yeah. Keiko, he played
Uh,
in how was it called Humbaiana? Humbaiana?
uh,
How was
the
the name of the band?
Klaus was a German saxophonist, was
Yeah.
teacher
Yeah, but
Bruno's
their band
teacher.
was called Humbaiana. Yeah, Humbaiana. How was
No,
called their band?
was the band
Vagão was
from
the bar.
Vagão.
Vagão was the
I
bar.
know, but I
Yeah.
know. Was
How was
that
called?
band?
Yeah, they played in Vagão. I don't remember. Vagão is
Uh,
wagon in
Gino,
Portuguese.
Italian guitar player, was a
Gino
late teacher.
Zambelli.
A late teacher. It was people come from another countries
Yeah,
playing jazz, live in Salvador, and we would have
great.
some contact with these people. It was
Nice.
very good.
Memories of our musical education, which was nice. Good, but I think we should be finishing. We are talking
Yes,
a
yes.
lot.
To,
So
today
sorry for all these
was
memories from the teenager years, but two friends talking to each other and having fun. So that's what you should expect from We-MNF. I hope you enjoyed. We are always enjoying. It's a pleasure. And see you in our next episode. Bye bye. Give us a thumb up and bye bye.
bye, guys.